Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Jabroni Drive. On this week's episode, Cody vs. Logan, Gunther vs. Randy Orton, Triple Threat Intercontinental Championship, Lila Becky vs. Bianca around the back. Will this be the greatest episode of Jabroni Drive yet? I think so. Timmy, what do you got to say to all the Schmidt-Lavelites out there?
Tom, I'm pretty sure that not a single person that listens to our show heard anything you said in the introduction. But they do know that this episode is just going to be when you listen to Jabroni Drive, as always, you are a Jabroni
for life. I love it.
Do you? I don't know if you do.
Jabroni Drive starts now.
I love it.
And what an episode we have lined up for you today. And just remember, if you're not already doing it, give us that follow. Follow. Subscribe. Do it. Do it twice. Hit it 3 times. Make sure you are following Jabroni Drive, Schmidt-Lavelle, the hottest growing show in all of professional wrestling shows. New episodes every week covering everything that is professional wrestling, particularly WWE, the hottest professional wrestling organization in the world today. And it's not even close. If you'd like to be on the show or you'd like a topic for wrestling, give us a call at 215-948-6546. That's 215-948-OK-GO. 215-948-OK-GO. 215-948-6546. Give us a call, leave a message, and we will bring it up on this show. Timmy, a lot to cover, and we don't want to waste anyone's time. The King and Queen of the Ring, PLE, is this Saturday, live from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Airtime, 1 p.m. Eastern. We are looking forward to this King of the Ring. We've talked about episodes in the past episodes, the amazing job WWE has done in building this PLE with the King of the Ring. We didn't have high hopes, but they've hit it out of the park. We're hoping that they take this format of the tournament style and add it to number one contenderships for the women's and men's championships, for the tag championships, for the intercontinental championships, for the United States. They should be doing this on a regular basis. It makes sense. It's the sport. In every other sport, you have to play a tournament to win the championship. You have to win the league, whatever it is. Make the matches count. What an incredible thing it's done for Monday Night Raw and for SmackDown, these marquee matchups as the tournament goes on each week. The building of this storyline has been great. I've loved watching it. I hope they can do this, and particularly for the PLEs that are non-major PLEs. You have a King of the Ring tournament in Jeddah. Let's have a tournament to go to it. You have, Unforgiven in October. Let's have a tournament to see who's going to face for the championship match. Whatever it is, I love this tournament. I like style. Let's start adding it a little bit more throughout the year. What do you say, Timmy?
Well, Tom, I would love to believe what you're saying.
Oh, boy.
But some hesitation on my part because we've talked about a certain thing called the draft. And we had our suggestions, and we felt like that they listened to us, and they didn't.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying. I just don't know if this is going to become a routine thing. The number one contenderships and things of that nature. They have made King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring now a part of the program, which is great. We just don't know if this is going to be a regular thing. So I'm not going to hold my breath. That's all I'm saying.
Right. We don't know that's going to happen, but I would like to see it. Just put it in there a couple more times a year, and you don't have to call it King or Queen, but just we're going to do these tournaments to find out who the number one contender will be, and you get these nice matchups where you can still tell your stories through that. Just an idea. Time will tell on the draft. Like the draft itself was but hopefully, they've been keeping them separated as of now. Hopefully that will continue, and if they do have crossover, they'll make it make sense via trade or a loan or whatever it is. through the GMs. But let's get right into our our card for the King and Queen of the Ring PLE. And we're going to start at the top with Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul in what was supposed to be a title versus title matchup. Um, I didn't hate the way the contract signing went down. I thought Logan looked good. I think Cody looked good. I think maybe his you know, the babyface character can grow stale in a short amount of time. Not that I'm saying it has for him. Um, but what they did with Logan and his swerve of the contract and taking his title off the line was smart and was well done. However, it leads to us, I would say, knowing who is going to win that match, and it's got to be Cody Rhodes. Logan can lose and still hold on to his title.
Yeah, I think what the issue is here is I think they made a mistake with the planning of the mat, like that whole like back and forth, right, where like when the match was initially agreed to, I think that they weren't clear enough on their promos, which led to the confusion, which is what kind of put them in that spot, right? Like where, all right, oh, now we gotta kind of come up with a way to get us out of this, right? So Cody has to go in and does the baby face thing where he goes, you know what? I don't, I'm just whatever. I don't need this. I don't need your belt. I'm just good, like basically doing the baby face thing and say, I'll fight you for my belt. It's no big deal. I don't give a shit, right? And
Yeah.
like,
I'll
eh,
gamble everything and you
yeah,
gamble nothing.
it's no big deal. Which in every negotiation from the time I was 4 years old, if you're given something, you better get something in return.
Right.
And it doesn't happen in this scenario. So um it just seemed like a backpedal type of situation for them and like, hey, Cody, go out here and save us. We didn't really we messed this up kind of in my opinion. I don't think they intended for people to think that both belts were on the line and they kind of fell into that and then they had to backpedal. So um hey, but whatever. We're gonna get a great match. And that's the big thing because like we've never gotten to see Logan and Cody, and we're gonna see two athletic guys, right? Like we love watching Ricochet and Logan go at it, right?
Yes.
Ricochet is not Cody. Cody is not Ricochet, but like Cody can move in that ring. And there's going to be some spots in this match I think that are really going to be eye-opening. Of course, he's not going to drop the title to Logan, which
Oh,
again,
jeez, excuse me.
that's the thing that sucks about it is like we know that he's not going to lose. So it's probably going to be another brass knuckles type of situation where he gets probably disqualified for using the brass knuckles and then there's a count out of some sort, but that's the way it's going to go down.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like I could see there being a DQ, or he's going to use them and Cody catches him or whatever and just finds a babyface way to win. But I have to say Cody wins this match, and that is disappointing. When we thought it was title for title, it was like, whoa, like a lot of what are they gonna do here? Like this is really a curveball. Like what a lot on the line here. That match was box office, and it's still very good. But you just have to think Cody retains, or there's some sort of DQ that it all like doesn't transfer belts. But looking forward to that match, and I think it'll be a really good one. Let's get into and first I want to talk about we'll talk about the women's Queen of the Ring tournament. So we want to give a huge shout out. We're huge fans, and we've been talking about the last week's episode was called It's Tiffy Time. We love Tiffany Stratton. She has taken off, and I did not see this coming her ascent into the top echelon of the women's division. I did not see that coming so quickly, and I want to give this match between her and Bianca Belaire was top level match. I loved it. I love both of these characters. I thought it was so well done. Great action in the ring, and I want to strap a rocket to Tiffany Stratton. She should become a champion soon. She needs to become a champion soon.
Yeah. No, that me and the HAB were going back and forth. I don't think you were live watching SmackDown, but we watched that match and I was like, holy shit, dude, this is like insane to start this hot. And man, they were on fire and there's just different athletic spots during this match where I'm like, oh my God, like this is not like a normal women's match where like usually there's one that's really carrying really most of the action. Here it was back and forth and they were feeling each other out and like Bianca is really just incredible. She is I never thought she was that great of a wrestler. And over the course of like the last 6 months, I'm like, man, she can deal, dude. She can really hold up her end. And then to see Tiffany really graduate into from NXT into the WWE and really like her opponents have been, I mean, really aggressive, right? Like she's really been thrown into the ring and
I don't know if I've
not,
seen an ascent like this
yeah,
out of NXT. Like it almost reminds me when Kevin Owens came up from NXT. It was like he immediately got put into that main event. I mean, I don't know if I've seen it never really I mean, Rhea maybe, but it still wasn't like this. The crowd is all over Tiffany Stratton. They love her.
yeah. Well, I mean, because she does things that you don't normally see, right? Like I think that's really the connection with the crowd is like she's different. She's
Yeah.
different. Like that's why Rhea Ripley connects, I think, hard is she's different. I think that's the reason why Charlotte Flair connects. Like all these girls connect because they're different. I think that's why Liv Morgan has such a hard time connecting because she's just in like I'm
Cookie
not trying
cutter.
to, yeah, well, not cookie cutter. She just is, yeah. I mean, she's ordinary, right?
Right. Like she's
Like
obviously hot, but it's not like her promos aren't great. Her ring isn't like wow. Like her character is, it seems acted. It doesn't seem genuine to me. And I'm not trying to rip like I know I just shit on Liv
you
Morgan.
just definitely shit on her,
I
man.
like Liv
You
Morgan. I
shit on
really
her.
do.
No, you shit on her.
Yeah. But another thing I want to say about this match with Bianca and Tiffany was the physicality. It was physical. They were laying it in, Timmy, and they were like some really nice collisions, some hard hits, some chops and everything like that. And I
Yeah.
was very impressed with the physicality of both of these women. Obviously, Bianca is just a monster. She's so strong and physically like can bench and squat and deadlift all this stuff. And Tiffany just held her own with her, and I just thought it was so good
I
and
was
love these two.
I was surprised, not surprised. I guess I was kind of caught off guard a little bit by seeing Bianca win because like Bianca is such a huge star here, right? So I wasn't sure on how this match would play out, but like to see her actually get the dub, especially with like the way they put on like the knee issue, right? Like
Right,
all that stuff. I'm like they're gonna put her over right now. Like it seemed like an easy way to put Tiffany over, and they
right.
didn't, and that kind of surprised me a little bit. But like
She didn't need to though, which is
she,
it's funny early on in your career, you'd think she would need that rub. She's so over. She didn't even need to win that. Her
yeah,
just going toe to toe
right.
makes her
I
elevated
was
her.
that was the next thing I was about to say is like after the match, you're like, yeah, well, I mean, she gained as much from losing that match as she would have if she won because
Right.
she was shown in a great light. So
Incredible layer of psychology there by the WWE, like knowing,
or by me.
well, it is, but like them setting that up,
Oh,
and
yeah.
like that's kind of what I'm talking, like when we're getting into like the
You're not talking
details.
about my analysis. I thought you were talking about my analysis.
Well, it is. It totally is. Like you recognizing that, Timmy, has is next level
Well,
fandom. I mean, we've gone to a different. Not only is Tiffany Stratton going to a different level, you have now gone, like, the idea of
I'm,
thinking about, she did
I'm
not
going
need to
next
win
level,
that
baby.
match, and she still has that cachet, and it's elevated her. Like, great kudos to both those women. I know we went long on that. We didn't really mean to, but man, I'm so excited about Tiffany Stratton. So Nia, aka Nia Jax, her match against Jade
Mm,
Cargill. I thought it was good. I thought Jade looked okay. Nia, I love her as a heel. I mean, when she told the kid your mom sucks, I mean, that was incredible.
perfect.
Um, and the way they ended this, a nice
Terrible.
way to have
Terrible.
us, yeah, but it was
I
it had to be done so that we can't have Jade versus Bianca yet. They're building to that. It's gonna happen, but it's just that's a long ways away, I think.
It just could have been done so much better though. Like it could have been like it was weak with
Yeah,
the chair shot.
I hear
Like,
what you're
come on.
saying.
Like we've seen the chairs happen time and time again. Like it felt kind of cheap, right? It's like and the crowd also let the WWE know, like, yeah, this sucks, dude. Like this is stupid. Like we got like these two heavyweights here in the ring. This is a Queen of the Ring semifinal, and this is really how it's going to go down.
Yeah, they're
And
chanting "Let him fight," right?
yeah,
And
yeah,
I
and then
liked that at the end too. I liked the realism with that, and them keeping them separated and her breaking through, and them still,
yeah,
they
yeah, it
they both
was
looked to fight. But yeah, but you know what? It did the job it needed to do. Like, they had to get that result.
yeah. No one's ever going to remember that,
Right,
so whatever.
right.
Move on.
So now we got Nia, aka Nia, going against Bianca Belaire, and the winner of that will face Lila Valkyria, who defeated Io Sky. And I want to give a shout out to Io Sky. I think a decent match. This is big for Lila to be put into this position. They're really building her up. Um, to me, I'm not in love with her yet. Uh, Obviously she's been associated with Becky Lynch, the man, a lot, so that kind of, I'm like, but so that match, I'm saying it's gonna set up for Nia, aka Nia Jax, to go against Leela, aka Lila Valkyria, in the Queen of the Ring. Do you see that being the final, Timmy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, no, I mean, I just like it. Valkyria, right? Like, I like so it's hard. This is what is weird with like this whole setup is like I guess
you're
King
not
of the Road
invested in
is
her,
well, no, yeah, like we don't really know who she is
right?
yet. She's thrown into this like situation where like, oh my God, she could win Queen of the Ring, and it's like, all right, well, she's really getting that big of a push. And I've been a big Nia, or I should say Nia Jax fan over the course of like the last few months, and like she's been kind of getting smoked a little bit left and right, and which I hate. Like I think that she needs to. I really feel like she needs to win this thing
I
just
would
to
love for her to
really
win it.
establish herself as like I don't want her to. I think she's a true heel, and I think she needs to stay a heel for a long time. Like this is what the women's division needs, I think. Like as much as like the men's division needs a Kane and an Undertaker, right? Like I think the women's division, if this is going to be a realistic uh thing where like, hey, like we have such great talent here, and like they're like Rhea Ripley isn't. isn't that that type of heel. Like she's an anti-hero, right? Like where people hate, like not hate her, but like they know that she's a heel, but like they love her.
Right.
Nia is just no one likes her, and it should stay that way.
We like
And
her.
we do, but like it should be that way. Like they need to have somebody that's an absolute heel.
Yeah, I agree. I would if I were to pick right now of the women left, I would love Nia to win it, and that would be my pick. I want Tiffany to somehow get the title, so I'm wondering who they would have if she got the title, who they would have chasing her, or do they give the title to Nia Jax at some point and have Tiffany chase and her become the babyface because she's over. You know, she's a
Well,
bad guy technically, but she's over.
I do think that right now is a time to with Rhea being out, Charlotte being out. Now is a great time to really like kind of strap people like and see who can run with it, right?
Yes,
Like
I
give
agree.
let's go like 2 month run with so and so. Like give me another 2 month run with her and let's see what they do with it.
I yeah, well, yeah, and I would like to Tiffany or Naya, I would say. All right, let's move on to the Intercontinental Championship and a lot going on with the Intercontinental Championship. There'll be a triple threat match with Sami Zayn, Chad Gable, and Big Bronson Reed. Um, I want to talk about the evolution here of Chad Gable's heel character. We talked about it a good amount last week, and I felt that he is doing things correctly, but being a little bit over the top too much. He's got to get away from that hokey jokey, like extra stuff. Like, yes, be the bad guy, but you don't have to be so animated, so clownish with it sometimes. So I think he toned it back a little bit as far as, sometimes less is more. They say that all the time, less is more, less is more. And he had a match against Sami Zayn. I love this match. He kicks Maxine Dupree and Tozawa away from the ring. He gets him out of ringside. Otis stays there. Each time he was trying to get them to interfere and help him by cheating, distracting the ref, this and that, and they weren't doing it. They weren't doing it. He finally gets Zayn in the corner, and a conflicted Otis comes up and clotheslines and hits Sami Zayn, leading Gable to his roll through suplex bridge finish. 1, 2, 3. Gable gets the win with help from Otis. Otis looking ashamed that he had done that, and just this confliction of Otis and what he should do. And this storyline development, I think, is really hot and can turn into something where the crowd is begging Otis, who's this lovable, big, goofy kind of character, to don't listen to Chad anymore. He goes, he apologizes to Sammy. Sammy says, I know you're better than this. You shouldn't have done blah, blah, blah. He's just very lovable. And to play on that, I think would be so good, and you would get a memorable, magical moment when he finally does turn on Gable.
But what is that moment though?
Right.
Like tell me what that moment is, which is I mean it's great in the storyline and all that stuff, but is that a SummerSlam moment? Is that something that people are gonna be like, ah, finally? Oh my God. Like, is that gonna be a Shawn Michaels, like Marty Jannetty? I threw him through the glass window at the barbershop.
I could see we've seen um him Gable talking with the Creed brothers, and now I'm just, this is just me speculating. If the Creed brothers eventually join the Alpha Academy and they keep Otis in it, they kick out Tozawa, they kick out Maxine Dupree, but he holds on to Otis, his number one guy, and he's still there, and they're doing all this stuff, and maybe they beat down someone, and eventually it's just too much, and Otis says, you know what, I'm out. I'm not doing it anymore. You guys can't just like a pack of wolves come, and he takes them and he turns then. I don't know if it needs to be like a year-long build, but it's going to be fun when it happens. I'm hoping it's not happening this weekend. I think it's too soon to do it this Saturday. Let it marinate a little bit more. Maybe Clash at the Castle or like a Money in the Bank or something like that, and it'll still be a pretty epic moment. If you want it to be the all-time epic moment, you got to wait a year.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I do. Again, I've said this last week. I like the storyline. I like what Chad is doing. I like his character. I love his whole progression and everything else that comes with it. But I'm just I'm not sure if like the Otis thing is really where it needs to go, right? Like I know that he's really kind of the focus, the central focus here, right? With like, but I don't know. I mean, I think there could be more with Sammy and building that, right? I feel like that has more legs, and I feel like they're doing the triple threat match, but I feel like they could really drag this on for another like 3 months with Chad versus Sammy. I would love to see that match over and over again because it's fun. It's a great
Right.
match.
And, they can do that and have, Timmy, we were talking before the show and you were talking about the Attitude Era, and maybe you want to go into that about how now it's great because it's not just the top guys or
Hmm.
top girls that have stories. Everyone's got their own little story. You got Judgment Day with a story. You got
Hmm.
Imperium with a story. You
Yeah.
got Alpha Academy with a story. Intercontinental, Logan Paul,
Yeah.
KO, Sami Zayn, Gunther, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Obviously, you know, Cody and Jay and whatever. But so,
Well, it's the little things that matter right now, Tom, because like we're off now. We're off peak, right? Like
right,
we're not in WrestleMania season, so like we need to make things interesting. And to make things interesting is to really develop stories for guys that are not so much like mainstream characters, right? Like you get Otis, who's really involved in this story, and like people want to get invested, right? It's something for WWE creative to really create something that people are going to buy into, and Otis is a character that you would like to buy into, right? Like not so much Tozawa or anything like that, but like these minor characters, like this Liv Morgan thing, right? With like Judgment Day, right? And you see like the
little crumbs of
the
evidence there.
bandana and all that
Yes.
stuff. It's turning into like almost like a
Well,
I
maybe
don't
that's
know,
where
like
we're
a
not on the
soap
same
opera.
page. Like I'm not saying thrust Otis into like a championship match. You know what I mean? Like when he turns, okay, this means he should run with the belt or anything. I'm saying I think Otis for a little bit can be loyal to Chad and just kind of be like, and I always think of Game of Thrones, kind of be like this reek like character that is Chad just belittles and is like his little pet that friggin' does
It's
whatever
almost
he says.
it sounds like a Ted DiBiase, almost like Virgil type relationship here.
Sort of, and you can build it and have it like and he can help Chad win, and Chad can have the match with Sami Zayn, and Otis is a part of that story, and then Chad can have the match against whomever his next opponent would be. It doesn't matter, and he's getting help from Otis and treating him like garbage the whole time. And then it gets to a point where Chad steps over the line just one too many times, and then Otis turns, and that crowd's been begging for Otis to turn. It's just it's I don't know where they want to go with it. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but they have an opportunity here because people are cheering for Otis. They're chanting his name, and we noticed
Let
the
me
heat
ask you
that
this.
Gable was getting.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah,
So ultimately, do you feel like Gable deserves a run with the belt?
I do. I do think he deserves a run with the
So
belt.
if that's the case, right? And if that's something that we feel like is going to happen, you could theoretically go with that storyline, right? Like Otis is going to help him win the belt, right? He gets the
Yep.
belt for 2 months, and then he gets treated so poorly, right? That man, at some point he costs Chad finally, yeah, the belt, right? Like he's facing someone else, and like, yeah, Otis has had enough, and he interferes in the match, Paul Orndorff style on Hulk Hogan, right?
Yeah, and does something, and it doesn't have to be during the match, because when like Sammy turned on Roman years ago, the match was over, but they still beat down the guy, Kevin Owens, that they had just beat, and they're beating him down and beating him down. And then Sammy says, You don't have to do that. Like, we should stop. And he's like, no, you pull the trigger. And that's when he said, I can't do it anymore. And not that it has to be the exact same story. I'm like mapping out the exact same bloodline story, but something along those lines. It could be during a match. It could be, and then you can get the match where they face each other after that, and you get a cool match and a cool moment there where Otis gets his revenge and takes out Gable eventually, which will probably be those styles are different. A big guy, a smaller, like that would be an interesting matchup there. But I like where it's going. I feel like they have potential there. This match, we haven't even talked about Bronson Reed, but this match, Bronson Reed, Sami Zayn, and Chad Gable. I'd like to see Gable come out with the title here. I really would. I feel like you could put it on him, and I think a sustained run, and you can have him do match after match after match and showcase Gable against a ton of different opponents and have just sneak away with a victory by Otis helping him or the Alpha Academy helping him and just keep building and building and building. I would like to see that because we're huge fans of Chad Gable.
Yeah, no, you're spot on. I'm in with that.
So I don't know what's gonna happen here. I mean, if I were to predict it, I would say Sammy retains in some sort of goof up by Otis or something like that, or he doesn't help this time and it costs him the match. I don't know. But I'd like to see Chad win. If I'm gonna say who's gonna win, I'm gonna say Zayn retains and that
Yeah,
storyline
I think
continues.
Sammy retains so as well.
All right, so let's move on now to another title match, and this is going to be the man Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan. Now, I was critical of Liv's um, character,
Top three wrestlers all time.
and I would say that Liv is very good. I just don't think she has developed into that character and this character that she's playing. It hasn't hit for me. I don't know. Are you on the same page with that,
Yeah,
Tim?
yeah, that's why I brought it up earlier. Like she's just like I don't know. She's just not one of those girls that like I think can make a difference, right? Like I know it feels like they're forcing her on us a little bit, but I mean, throwing her into this like whole Judgment Day thing feels like a forced kind of like deal, right? Like where they're trying to get her mainstream almost. Are you there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm here.
You weren't moving. I thought that
I'm
you
sorry.
might
I'm
have
like
frozen.
writing down
Um,
notes.
but yeah, I feel like she's good. I just don't think she's upper echelon talent.
Yeah. I'm kind of like I and we're not saying that she can't be. We just haven't seen it yet. However, that being said, I'd like her to win this match. I feel like her beating Becky Lynch in this match would do a good amount for her character. And the story of her and mommy could be really interesting moving forward. But she really needs to do some, I don't know if it's her voice or her facial expressions or whatever. Like she's going for it, and I'll give her credit. She's been more vocal, she's been louder, she's been trying to go at Becky. You can tell she's putting that effort in. It's just not hitting for me right now. So I don't know if it can hit. Um, but this match, I still would like Liv to come out on top and win the match, carry the title, and I would say carry it until mommy comes back.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, the the ideal situation is mommy comes back in 2 months, right? After whoever holds the belt, right, for the next 2 months, she's like almost like a placeholder, whether it be Liv or Becky, it doesn't matter. Like mommy needs to be that front and center individual for the women's division. She needs to be that face. I think WWE has already recognized that. I, I mean, her obviously her injury was serious enough that they had to take the belt off her, which sucked. But um, I think eventually when she gets back, she'll obviously hold that belt for a little bit longer, and then like just reestablish that women's division. And then, dude, then you get Tiffy time, and you get like, dude, we've talked about the women's division and how
Right.
reputable that whole thing is. Like everyone that's involved in that whole situation,
And
and it's
Charlotte coming back and
yeah, it'll be absolutely insane to see some of these matches. I can't wait to see Charlotte and Tiffy. That's
oh,
gonna be fun.
Charlotte and Tiffy's going to be great. Mommy and Tiffy. I'm curious, what do you think about, is it time for, we talked about the clues here of Dirty Dom and Liv Morgan. Is this leading to Dirty Dom betraying, is has he betrayed mommy? Is he fooling around with Liv and kind of writing mommy up? Like, does this lead to Dom turning on mommy and helping Liv? Like, because in the money's in the chase. Mommy's over. We know the crowd loves mommy. When she comes back, they're going to be cheering for her. And is the idea maybe to have Liv win and hold it until a Mania where Mommy finally gets her chance and takes Liv out and wins the title back, or is it happening at SummerSlam and it just comes back and Dom, oh, I don't know what that was. We never did anything, and it's nothing, or
Yeah, I know it's good. It's strange. I think that oh, Tom, it it's hard because she's such a superstar, right? You're not sure which avenue that they're going to take, right? Like,
right?
are they because like the way it feels like right now is that Judgment Day is going to completely disband, in my opinion.
A lot of clues there still. Like when they have their promos in the back, it'll cut to like a little comment. You know what I mean? By
Right.
someone that's like, I guess he's not with it. Like it's all good, or like they'll say there's a lot of dissension there,
I
and
mean,
especially
let's be on.
between
Let's be
Damon.
honest. I mean, they're talking to Carlito about coming on board. I mean,
Well, that's what I'm saying. Dirty Dom's got seems to have not no loyalties anywhere. He'll do whatever it's best for Dirty Dom. Is I mean, it will be an ultimate heel turn if he does betray Mommy, and he's already as heelish as it gets. If you add that to him stabbing Mommy in the back for her to lose a title, I mean, that is white hot heat. Like he is going to be the
oh
most
yeah,
hated guy
oh
ever.
absolutely. But that has
Is
to
he ready
that
for that to like his career then is without mommy, I mean, he'll have this
no
run, but
no. Are you out of your mind? If he turns on mommy and causes her career, like, or well, not causes her
a
career,
title,
causes her a title, he's going to be the most hated dude in the world, and he'll have the most heat as he should,
right?
and that will stay on him for quite some time, I think.
Probably forever. But I guess he's not a main, like, is he a heavyweight champion?
No, 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 not even close.
So that's what I'm saying. Once that storyline plays out, where the hell would he go from there besides just being a lackey for someone, It's
Yeah.
like he mommy's his cash cow. He wouldn't be where he is without mommy. And I wonder if he can sustain that heat after that rivalry is, put to bed. I don't know, but we're talking a lot. We're going here right now, and this is going to be our final thing we're going to talk about on today's show, and that's going to be the men's King of the Ring final. Over on SmackDown, the two contestants we have left are contestants. The two wrestlers we have left, Randy Orton and Tama Tonga. The one we have that's in the championship now is none other than the Ring General, Gunta. And let's quick talk about that match between Jey Uso and Gunta. And we talked about it earlier in the show, this build to these marquee matchups. That is an incredible matchup, Jey Uso versus Gunta. The crowd is still so hot for Yeet, and this entrance is still white hot. Love the entrance. The match was awesome. The chops, I mean, these are some of the loudest. Those were some of the loudest chops I've heard in any of Gunther's matches. I mean, brutal the chops to Jey Uso's chest at the end of that match, and he could have come out with the win.
To the point where he feels it because he's almost in like slow motion. Like
Yeah.
he's like, oh,
give me a second.
Like give it, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like this should just kill me.
Yeah.
Dude. All right, I'm gonna be again probably in the minority here, but I hated the way that match ended.
Where the referee kind of gets toppled and it slows him down from making the count, or the way that
it just didn't make sense to me.
it was
right?
rushed, Timmy. I don't know if you noticed that. It was rushed.
Yeah, well, I saw the time like that. That's I can't wait for Raw to go to Netflix because
Right.
you won't have these issues. But you could tell like it felt like there was something going on right here, right? Like they had such a great match. It was
Right.
so good. And then all of a sudden they just got sloppy at the end. And then like I don't know if that was the planned finish for Jey to tap out, but it just didn't feel right.
Well, he didn't tap. It was
Well,
I know what you're saying, for him to go unconscious. And it happened, and it was like the match is over, and then it just ended. There was nothing afterwards, which, okay, but it just, Gunther, is this 3 submission wins in this tournament? He had Sheamus tap, obviously the submission last. Who was his other opponent that he faced? Is that it? No, I forget. Either way, they're really putting this submission hold. They're adding that to Gunther's arsenal of a way to finish people and wins now. It's not just the lariat and the chops and the power slam and stuff like that. They've added these submissions now where he's getting people to tap
and the
out,
power bomb.
Yeah, where it's just an interesting wrinkle they've added to the Ring General's arsenal there of how he can win. And his matches are so brutal that it's very believable that he can get these people to tap.
You're not winning. You're not winning like strong enough. We need to add a chokehold now or a submission. We got to make you
look more look. You need to look stronger.
Yeah.
They really have. I mean, they've done a great job of it.
We need to really make you the Ring General.
So we have Gunther in the final of this King of the Ring tournament, and he will be facing either Randy Orton or Tama Tonga. And Timmy, we talked about the winner. It has to be Randy Orton.
I'm out. I'm out on Tama Tonga.
Yeah.
I'm out on him. I'm not that I'm out like overall. I'm just out on him being like some sort of like contender for the King of the Ring. Like this is a dream match. I said this like 3 weeks ago to the HJB. I said, dude, like, we could get a Gunther Randy Orton. And he was like, dude, I didn't even think about that. And that would be awesome.
And I think it
Because
plays into their styles. Randy, he's I would love to see him in this in a knockdown drag out, like just how brutal those matches can be. I'd love to see if Orton keeps pace with that.
and the greatest part about that is like you don't and look, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and deny that I didn't watch Busted Open because Bully Ray said the same thing today. And I thought the same thing is if you have both Randy Orton and Gunther, who are you going to pick to win that match? Like, there's not a guarantee that, like, we talked about the match earlier, right? About Cody and Logan Paul. We already know that Cody's going to win. When you have Randy Orton and Gunther in a match, you can't go, oh yeah, well that's going to be Gunther. Well, how do
That's
you
the way
know?
I think about it. I mean, I honestly feel like that's Gunther's win right there. I
You
think
think you
Randy,
you think Randy puts him over?
yes, I do.
Really?
I do.
Wow.
I mean, I could like totally could be wrong, but I feel like this is Gunther's tournament and
But
he
why?
him
He
beating
just ran.
Randy
He's just
Orton.
but he just ran.
What if he makes him tap?
No shot that Randy Orton will not let that happen.
Yeah. I know. I just it'd be a crazy story. I mean, Randy chasing Gunther is an interesting thing too, but they're on different brands. I like the idea of Gunther beating Randy. I
Okay.
really do.
Okay.
Do you want like who would you pick? Would you rather
No, I just think I mean, look, as much as I don't know, people don't want to recognize it. Like Randy Orton is a legend.
Oh yeah.
He's
100%
very
legend.
he's very he's not as old as these guys, but he's John Cena. He's The Rock. Like I'm not saying that he's
He's
on
that
that,
level. He's up there.
but he's a
He's
step
one of the
just
greats.
just below. So
Yeah.
like you're asking essentially one of the greatest of all time to take an elbow to Gunther, who's I mean it's weird, like because like Randy Orton doesn't want to like he's not ready for retirement. He just came back from major back surgery. He's not going to
Yeah.
sit there and just play second fiddle. He wants to be in the main event. Like he's not just going to sit there and go, you know what? Yeah, I'm ready. I'm on the Flair tour. I'm going to take Sweet Chin Music from fucking HBK. Like he's a legitimate superstar. He's involved in storyline. So like I don't buy it for me. I don't buy it. I think that it's a tougher toss up, a coin flip than you think.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel like it does more
For the
for
business,
Randy to
well, no.
lose.
Well, it does more for the business, right? So like if you
Right.
go, hey, listen, like Triple H goes to Randy, like, listen, dude, we gotta put Gunther over. And Randy's like, fuck that. And then and like you could really go, listen, look at it from a bigger picture here. Like that you have to sell that to Randy. Be like, look, he's younger. You're gonna be around for a couple. I'll throw you the U.S. title, dude. Like, what do you need? Like, I think that's like how it goes. Like, what do you want for for you to sell, right? To Gunther, what do you need in return?
I mean, and I don't know what's going on in those conversations there, but I don't imagine it that way. I
You don't
feel
think
like I think it's got to make sense, when they play out an idea for him. But I don't think Randy's already gotten everything. Multiple time Royal Rumble winner, 14-time world champion, tag champion, Grand Slam. He's done it. Like he's done it all. And I think the story is him losing this idea of this legend that people like love the RKO, and him building himself, picking himself back up and working towards, that, he's got a couple of these years left.
You're
And
giving him the Rocky Balboa treatment right now?
no, I feel like he's past like Rocky Balboa, like he's past Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I mean? But Randy Orton's in
Well, that's what I
Creed,
mean. He's trying to get his license again to fight, and his son's sitting there going, "Come on, Dad."
No, but like it's been time. It is time for Randy to give back to the business, and that's putting over guys like Gunther. Randy doesn't lose anything by losing to Gunther, and I think the match that Randy wants is him versus Cena at WrestleMania. Whether or not that happens, I don't know. If it's for a title, it's even crazier because they both have a tied record with Flair and that. But yeah, I see Gunther winning. I feel like it's a slam dunk right there. But dude, I could totally be wrong. Um, and I think Randy looks at it and thinks it's a great opportunity to have a great match in the King of the Ring final and also do something for the business. It's not like he loses and his career's over. He'll go on and he can main event any Grand Slam, PLE, any, he can still
He
do
can go to
anything.
AEW if he wants.
No. Edge is over there like, please come over to AEW. But all right, that's gonna wrap it up for this week's episode of Jabroni Drive. We hope you like what we are doing, and if you're not already doing it, give us that follow, give us that share, give us that subscribe. New episodes every week, covering everything professional wrestling, particularly WWE. A great PLE scheduled for this Saturday at 1 o'clock from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. We'll be tuning in. Obviously, we'll be covering it. SmackDown, we got the women's semifinals and the men's semifinals of the King and Queen of the Ring tournament. We will see who wins. Watch, it'll be Tama Tonga will win, and we'll both be like way off. Gunther versus Tama Tonga, unbelievable. And oh my God, that's a thumb to the neck. Gunther loses to Tama Tonga. All right, so new episodes every week. Give us a call if you want to be on the show. 215-948-OK-GO. 215-948-6546. Timmy, what do you got to say to all the Schmidt-Lavelites out there?
Everyone knows that listening to Jabroni Drive is just too
sweet.
More importantly, when you listen to Jabroni Drive, you guys know that when you listen to Jabroni Drive, you're jabronis
for life. I love it. Appreciate you listening. Until next week, for Tiffany Schmidt, my name's Tom Lavelle. We love you. Peace.